Rumor has it that you are completely prepared for your drafts, know exactly what you're going to do. Every situation has been deliberated upon, and you are ready to make some decisions. Well, I don't believe it. Not for a minute. When you're under the gun, you'll get caught up in the run, baby. Fantasy doesn't have to be confusing because we are here to help. Tonight on the Rod Pod. It's time to pull up a chair and talk some Dynasty football. I am your host, JJ Wenner. This is the Rider Dynasty Podcast. With me are my co-hosts, Jamison Hutchinson and Joe Harlow. And tonight, we are going to look at several confusing situations, and my team here is going to help you decide on who to choose based on ADP. And to help us out, we are welcoming a first-time guest to the show, but not a first-time contributor. She is a content creator for IDP Plus, Roto Underworld, and the FF Ballers. Her work is appreciated by thousands of YouTube viewers and dozens of content creators. You can find her on X at bfoxworth07. It's Brittney Foxworth. Woo!
Hi, everybody. That was an amazing intro.
Well, we are so lucky to have you on the show tonight. Oh, my word.
Glad to be here.
Well, we are happy to have you. And before we dive into the ADP, a word from our sponsors. We're not just a bunch of pretty faces here at IDP Plus. We have an entire suite of tools and rankings for both offense and defense, plus a whole lot more. Right now, get your first month for just $1 with the promo code MOCKDRAFT. Head over to idpguys.org after the show to get ahead of your lazy league mates on your march towards fantasy football greatness today. The promo code MOCKDRAFT. The link and detail are in the show description. All right, people, let's get to this. We're going to start off with some confusing quarterback rooms. There are a couple teams with open competitions, but I know we are never quite sure how open a competition really is. So first up are the Minnesota Vikings. With little baby JJ and Hey Darnold, right now Fantasy Pros has JJ McCarthy at an ADP of 185, and Sam Darnold is at 210. Who are you taking and why? We're going to go to the guest first. Brittney?
All right. I'm going with JJ. I think that Darnold's going to get the start for sure, but JJ is not going to sit the whole season, so I don't know. I'm banking on Darnold having not a good start. They have a tough schedule to begin the season. So I think that he's going to get benched earlier than most think.
Oh, you probably aren't wrong. As a former Jets fan, I know a little bit about Sam Darnold. Jamison, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with JJ as well. So I think they have an early bye in week 6. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we have done the Sam Darnold nonsense before. And right now he's lighting up training camp just like Paris Campbell, Jalen Reagor, these same guys every training camp. They just are some of the greatest of all time. And then when the season hits, he'll get sick or he'll, see ghost and do his thing. I can't do Sam Darnold. I'm just going to pass and I'll go with JJ.
Did you really bring up the seeing ghosts thing? God, that really just triggered me. Joe, who are you going with?
NFL Films did Sam dirty there.
Yeah,
that was rough work by them, but
it was work. Right.
I'm actually going to be a little contrarian and go Darnold. I think this is going to be one where I do think you can go with either, honestly, and largely because they have late round ADPs and a 12-teamer. That's 15th round and later. So really, as your QB 2-3. Part of it is just I have so much faith in that organization. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, last name just totally blanked. Their GM, their offensive staff, their offensive infrastructure, just handing out a massive deal to their great left tackle, a really solid offensive line. Running game is improved as well with Aaron Jones in there. Justin Jefferson is as he is. even with TJ Hawkinson down, I really think he's going to be relevant enough that if you really punt on the quarterback position, especially in the super flex, I think as a QB2, I think you can roll with Darnold for a little bit. Now, or if you have like another quarterback coming off injury, if you have Joe Burrow as your QB1 and aren't sure you want to roll with him right out of the gate, I think Darnold's a decent option to pivot to late in the draft.
All right, we have 2 JJs and
3 JJs.
3
Don't forget about
JJs.
yourself.
Well, listen, I'll throw in for Darnold myself. I'll vote against my namesake. I think Darnold starts out every season pretty well. It's only once you get past game 3 that he starts to suck again. So he'll at least start the first 3 games. And at which point, if you're in a redraft league, somebody will probably cut JJ if he's not starting. You'll be able to pick him up off.
Darnold's, I think, going to be a lot better for fantasy than he necessarily is on like the quarterback rankings for NFL list.
Yeah, most all Jets are much better for. No, that's not. All right. Next up is a trip to Vegas. And what happens in Vegas will affect your fantasy team. So we have the Riz Bowl going on down there between Gardner Minshew at 202 and Aiden O'Connell at 220. Who are you taking and why? Joe.
Do I have to?
You must choose one.
I'm going to go with O'Connell here. If you follow me at all, you know I'm one of the biggest Gardner Minshew haters out there.
That is true.
Don't think he's a good backup at all. So Aiden O'Connell, I think, can be a decent backup in the league. So it's one where I think we know what Gardner Minshew is, whereas with Aiden O'Connell, we only probably know what he is. So, and I think he handled the offense pretty well last year. Minshew is so erratic with a young defense that's also erratic. I feel like you're going to want a little more stability there, which weirdly in this case, the stability comes from the younger player. But yeah, this is gross. I don't want either, but if I have to, I will take O'Connell.
All right. I forced Joe to choose. Fox, I won't force you, but do you have a choice between Gardner and AOC?
I do. I'm going AOC. Yeah. Gardner, he throws too many interceptions. I think he's in the top 10 for like danger plays. It's terrifying anytime he has the ball in his hands. So he's going to turn over the job literally. Yeah.
No mustache love. I mean,
Aiden O'Connell's got quite a stash.
That is true. Jamison, are you going to make this a clean sweep?
I can't vote for porn stash boys, so I'm just going to go AOC here. But I thought Shane Steichen really elevated Gardner Minshew last year to be about as good as he can be. And with going to Las Vegas, Luke Getsy, didn't think he did Justin Fields a lot of favors. I don't think he's going to do either of these quarterbacks. I wish I could be into like Brock Bowers or any of these guys, Devontae Adams, but I want no part of this Raiders offense.
All right, 3 for AOC. I'll keep my mouth shut on this one. I know there's a couple of other quarterback situations I didn't say we were going to talk about, so we're going to skip them. But like Brissett and May is one, but I think they're all following, especially in one QB, to a point that we really don't need any of them. So let's go to the running backs because they're a lot more fun to talk about. So for some strange reason, it had to be, we are starting in Tennessee. Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard were everyone's darling last offseason, but left managers a little bit disappointed. Now they're on the same team, and Pollard is being drafted at pick 101, and Spears is right behind at pick 106. Who are you taking and why? Jamison.
I'll go with the cheaper back in Tyjae Spears. Second year, I thought he did some really good stuff last year. Even though the offense was terrible, I think he's more explosive. I know that Tennessee has came out and they're going to do 1A and 1B, so I expect Pollard to be on the field. At the same time, I think Pollard is a pretty decent pick just because he's always worked better in a committee. When we saw last year he was by himself, it just wasn't going to happen. But I like both these guys, but I do think that Tyjae Spears has much more upside, and I think that the Titans are going to pass a lot, and if he's on the field for passing down work, I think that really kind of sky's the limit for him. So I'll go Tyjae Spears here.
All right, Joe, who are you going?
I'm going Spears as well. I've also been a noted Tony Pollard hater. Still think Zeke's a better player than him, at least maybe not anymore, but in Dallas I did. Yeah, I think Spears is really going to be the third down back is what it's going to come down to. They'll split some reps. Spears has more juice at this point, I think. Maybe Pollard gets healthier. I know he was hurt a lot of last year, but I think Spears has a good connection with Will Levis, and I think that's really the passing is really going to make the difference there.
All right, Brittney.
I agree with all of the above.
It's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
We got 3 straight Spears. It was a trick question.
For a dynasty aspect, I do think Tony Pollard has turned into a buy, though, and Spears. I think both of them are worth a shot. I've had some Pollard shares where he was going as a first round pick before the draft or before free agency. Now you can barely get a third for him. So definitely seems like a buy right now.
I would definitely invest more in both of them based upon their offensive line. I know it's going to improve much this year, but I'd rather see it improve and then have them for next year than try to start either one this year. If I had to choose, I've been going with Spears, though. All right, let's take a trip to Cincinnati and try to decide who we want to start. Now, Joe Mixon moved on, and we are left choosing between Zach Moss at 89 or Chase Brown at 122. Brittney, who are you taking and why?
Chase Brown, because he's on my dynasty team.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's a great answer.
No, if we're in 91, 123, I'm looking for a guy with upside at that point, really. And Chase Brown is the one with the upside. Zach Moss might get the 3-down work, but Chase Brown's got wheels. And I don't know if you saw, but on in preseason, the first day, he had a huge touchdown. Chase Brown just took off past everybody. So.
Listen, young legs are fast legs. Jamison, who are you going with?
Can I say both?
Nope.
Well,
I said
I'm gonna say I wish I would say both, but I think Zach Moss, short term, I love both of them, and I'm just gonna say both anyways. So the Colts and the Bengals last year were 1-2, and plays ran out of shotgun, and the only person that Zach Moss averaged more yards than was Jonathan Taylor in front of him with 5.2 yards per carry out of shotgun. So he's also going to be on the field to pass block, and we know that Joe Burrow's going to sit in shotgun the whole entire time and just chuck it. And I just think the sky's the limit. And then Zach Moss also ranked 4th in explosive plays last year with 15. So I think Zach Moss, if he's just first and second down back, and then Chase Brown. If something were to happen to Zach Moss, Chase Brown, when he was at Illinois, I mean, he was a 3-down workhorse. I know the clip last year of him running the screen pass, and everybody thinks he's just a gadget player. He's not. I mean, he handled 40 carries one game at Illinois his last year in college. So I really like both of them. I think both of them are really cheap. I would lean Moss right now, but I've been clicking both, and I've been very happy with it. I think these are 2 of the biggest steals in drafts right now.
All right. I love that. Joe.
I'm going to go with Zach Moss here. Jameson took the words out of my mouth with the shotgun aspect. Zach Moss is a great shotgun runner, which not many backs excel at, including Chase Brown. Had some ups and downs. Even Jonathan Taylor, that was my big concern with him last season before the injuries, was that he didn't tend to be great out of that. Moss is a great pass blocker. Burrow's going to be sitting back there hucking the ball around. So I just think value-wise, Moss is going to be a very safe play here.
Now, does Joe Burrow's hair change any of your opinions on this?
Went from the Anakin Skywalker to the Slim Shady. I don't know how I feel about this.
Okay.
I moved him up in my ranks.
Okay.
Okay. I did as well. I got one more thing. Last year, Joe Mixon had 71 attempts in the red zone as far as rushes go, and he didn't do a whole lot with them. I know he was still good for fantasy, but I just think that even though he walked into a lot of production, he didn't capitalize on all of it. I think these 2 guys can. And I think Bengals are going to be close to a top 5 offense, and I'm very excited for it, and I just want both of them. I think both of them are great plays here.
I think Jamison wants both of these players. I don't know if anybody else is picking up what he's putting down.
I do. I'm trying. I need to get the hammer out and just start hammering. So, but
Please don't. That would be horrible for our audio. Now, I always wanted to be a Cowboy, baby, and it looks like
Oh.
our friend Zeke does too. After a year away, Zeke Elliott is back in the Big D, little A, double LAS, and he is currently being drafted at 128, while Rico Dowdle is going at 139. Joe, who are you taking and why?
I'm going with Zeke here. Still think he has a bit of juice, and Rico Dowdle, I just don't really believe in as a legit NFL running back. Zeke's still an elite pass blocker, which is really what this comes down to. He's going to be on the field. He still has great hands. If nothing else, he's going to be on the field for a massive percentage of snaps, and valuable ones at that.
All right. I love the Zeke love. Fox, where are you?
I'm with Zeke. Love Zeke. It's such a good value, like at that late in the draft. So
Yeah.
he's going to get the
11th
touchdowns too. Yeah.
And at least he knows the offense.
Yep.
Jamison.
I will lean Zeke here, but I'm really not excited for either. I don't
Yeah.
Dowdle as a kind of the workhorse back, so it kind of limits him. And I mean, even if Zeke does nothing, if he falls in the end zone 8 times, I'm really worried about Dallas this year. I think that they are a potential CD Lamb injury away from this whole team just falling off the cliff, and I don't think people have talked enough about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's horrifying, and I don't like speaking that into existence, Jamison.
I'm not trying
And the
to. I'm
offensive
just
line has downgraded with as high quality or high potential as Tyler Guyton is. He's never played left tackle. And now he's starting there. Or
It
did for
is a
few
little
snaps.
scary. It is a little scary that what was once a super strength for years of that team was their offensive line has now become a weakness, and they are dropping. It's a little concerning. I am avoiding both. If I had to take one, I think like Jamison said, Zeke might fall into the end zone at 10 times just because of that offense. So if I had to throw a dart, my dart's going to Zeke. Because I don't know. I just can't do Rico Dowdle. It's not in me. It's not in me, people. All right. We all know that Jim Harbaugh is going to run the ever-loving crap out of the ball in LA this year. They cleared the RB room and have 3 fresh faces. Gus Edwards is going at 123. Kamani Vidal is going at 142. And J.K. Dobbins is bringing up the rear at 177. Jamison, out of this trio, who are you taking and why?
I'll take the rookie. So in Kamani Vidal, I don't trust J.K. Dobbins. We've talked about that at length here. He's coming off an Achilles. He's been hurt every year. If it was any other position besides running back, I would maybe take a look at it. But we know how running backs do with Achilles injuries. And then Gus Edwards, you just kind of already know what he is. I mean, he landed in the end zone a lot with Baltimore last year, but he's not a sexy pick at all. And I just think that Vidal's got a little more juice. I think he can do some stuff, catching passes. He's a little undersized, so I worry if he can't pass block that Gus Edwards just ends up on the field constantly because of it. But I'd rather take the upside here, especially as how cheap he's going, and go with the rookie Vidal here.
It's really hard for me to think about Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins without immediately connecting them to the Ravens still.
It's very weird, isn't it?
It's weird that they both moved to the same place. Joe, who are you taking out of that 3?
I'm going to go with the Gus bus here. It was not sexy, but looking at last year, I think he's the clear best player in this room right now. I don't think J.K. Dobbins has much left. How could he? If he does, good for him. But 13 touchdowns last year for Edwards kind of speaks for itself. The offensive line has turned from a liability into a plus here in Los Angeles. I just think, they're going to give him a lot of work. He's going to get a lot of goal line work. And not super sexy, but that's where I'm going.
All right, Fox, we got 1 Kamani and 1 Gus. What are you going to do?
I love that he said that it's not sexy, because I feel like whoever gets this right, that's going to be the sexiest pick of the draft. But The question is, which one?
Or will there be one?
I think there will be. There has to be in this offense. Like, you think they're all going to split?
I don't know.
I'm going to go with the Gus Bus because he did it in Baltimore. Why can't he do it here? He's got the same offensive coordinator. So give me the touchdowns.
Or is Isaiah Spiller's going to come back from the dead, isn't he?
Oh no!
Oh, why did you?
We got to move on. But
because I never liked Spiller. That's why.
The Chargers have one of the more underrated offensive lines in football this year. So I mean, I do think they're going to be able to establish it.
I do too. So who is it going to be?
All right.
Week winner.
So Gus Bus gets 2 votes. I'll throw my.
I guess real quick, Jamison. I know you were You're pretty big on Vidal. How was he as a pass catcher? I don't remember. Didn't have many notes on him as a catcher.
He was actually pretty decent. He's just very undersized. I'm worried about him actually being a workhorse back because of it in the NFL. I mean, college is one thing, but I mean, he's also a late round pick. I would not be surprised if he gets cut. We always talk about these late rounders as they just are going to hit in massive ways, and sometimes they just get cut. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we talk them up real big, and then absolutely nothing happens. So it's very, I don't know. We're playing the lottery. If we hit it on one of these running backs, we'll be happy, but it's just kind of hard to figure out at the moment.
Well, it's the dynasty world. We all get rookie fever, right?
Every
We
year.
study these guys. We all pick our sleepers, and then we sort of like camp with those sleepers. Even if it's not possible or it's not going to happen, we still believe just a little bit, right?
Just enough.
All right. Well, speaking of somebody's favorite team, we have to put Fox to the test on her beloved Steelers. We have Jaylen Warren going at pick 87, Najee Harris at pick 88. One pick apart. Britt, you can't pick both. Who are you going to pick and why?
And it's terrible because I do pick both a lot. I know. I'm going to go with Najee. And I know that's everyone's cringing right now. But I'm a Najee truther. He's just consistent and he's just doesn't get hurt. I mean, knock on wood. He plays through injuries. He's tough. He's going to be the one. I know Warren's got the juice, but Najee's in the best shape of his life.
We love that.
He was looking very fast today. That's all I got to say.
All right. So we got a Najee Harris. I can't disagree. That's probably where I would go. Jamison.
Well, Brittney was talking about juice with Jaylen Warren. So last year he was third in explosive run rate, second in yards after contact, and first in missed tackles forced. So I will lean him, but I will actually kind of lean with Brittney. I think both are great picks.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you said we can't do it, but I'm going to do it again. I will lean Jaylen Warren, but I don't hate the Najee pick either.
Do you know what lean means? Like you literally can't lean in both directions, or you're standing
I can lean
straight.
right. I can lean
Pendulum.
right in the middle if I want to. I made it up today, and
No, I am
You
an
said-
English teacher. Words
said I
have
had to pick
meaning,
one.
Jamison.
you said I had to
JJ,
pick
you
one.
did tell him to be his authentic self right before we hit record. So
Yeah, I
I
didn't
did.
say
on
it
you,
was
buddy.
hard.
See, I told you I shouldn't have been positive to him.
So this is what you said. I had to pick one, so I will lean like 1.5% one way, but I can be just right here if I want to if I'm off the podcast. So that's where I stand.
I have no idea what he's saying. Joe, rescue
Keep
him.
moving on.
I am going to go with Najee Harris here as well.
Wow.
Jaylen Warren is a fine player. He has some explosiveness. A huge part of his fantasy success last year was on 61 catches. The quarterbacks in Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, don't throw to the running back ever. They have no eyes for the running back and never have. Warren also, I think, is a very overrated player as a whole, just with that juice and a lot of it coming off the dump offs that he was able to make some work with or make some extra yardage with. I think Najee's really going to be the type that Arthur Smith loved Tyler Algier, and Najee Harris is like if Tyler Algier was really good at football, which he's not. So I really think that it's going to be a lot of Harris. Warren, I think, will still be usable, but still is like a flex play. But I think really the question is, especially factoring in ADP, where's Cordero Patterson going to go?
No.
I was going to throw him into this much later. He's free.
He's already got a hamstring issue, so
yeah,
don't count on him yet.
So to me, Najee and Warren are like the Zeke and Pollard of this season.
Yeah.
Like, I love what Pollard could do with Zeke, but that's because Zeke was eating all the, between the tackle runs.
The hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, the hard work, the grind.
I'll take the grind.
Also, to help with Warren is he is compared to the Pollard comparison, he's a really good pass blocker. So I think there's some more there. But not the athlete Pollard was a couple years ago.
Steelers
all right.
Also, just real quick, really did a lot of good work on their offensive line.
Yes.
So I think that will come into play big time here with them running the ball with Arthur Smith.
Is Braxton Jones moving to left tackle for sure?
I honestly have no idea.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Keep seeing it both ways. So
the AFC North's going to be crazy this year.
Yeah.
I'm terrified.
Be pretty good.
Are we all set for another Tomlin 9-7 season? No, I'm just kidding. I love the Steelers.
I hope we get 9, honestly. Our schedule's tough this year.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
We'll
He
see.
always is. All right. Well, let's jump to the mistake by the lake, the Cleveland Browns. Despite some recent squatting videos, which are a weird combination of words for me to say, like I typed them and then I'm like, oh, that could be something really weird. There is some major concern about Nick Chubb's health. Right now, Jerome Ford is being drafted at 107, Nick Chubb at 140, and Donta Foreman at 201. Who are you taking and why? Joe.
Going into this, I didn't realize that Jerome Ford was that much higher than Chubb. My heart has to go with Nick Chubb here. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I can't quit the man. He's so good at football. He's one of the best pure runner in the league pre-injury, and good dude. Also the Georgia fan in me. Just can't give up on him and just hope that he can recover yet again. But honestly, without him, I probably would go Foreman because he does steal the soul of running back committees all the time. Last year with Chicago, Carolina a couple years ago. Also another great injury recovery story.
Yes.
Jerome Ford also so fun. But I'm going to go Chubb. Final answer.
All right. Chubb is final answer. Fox.
I'm going Ford.
You're going Ford.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm too scared to go Chubb. That's scary.
I'll say if
for me.
ADP on them was flipped, I would for sure go for it as well.
Well, you can't flip it because
I know. I'm just saying.
Ford's gonna actually be playing when the season starts and probably get the grunt of all of the work. I could see Chubb coming in and getting some carries, but that's a brutal injury to come back from, and I just don't see his explosiveness being what it was, and I don't know. That scares me.
Yeah, can't lie. I'm with you, Fox. Even though it hurts me to say that about my beloved Chubb. Jamison, where are you going?
I'm going to say Jerome Ford, but I am very worried. It's week 17. Nick Chubb just absolutely goes nuclear, and, he's finally healthy. Maybe comes back in the middle of the season. Doesn't look all that great, but kind of like Breece Hall. I know it's a totally different injury, but just kind of moved throughout the season, got better. I will say Jerome Ford. I know that Kareem Hunt's not there anymore, so he doesn't have to split the carries early on. And they've got a couple other running backs, Nyheim Hines and Pierre Strong, that will do kick returner. So, you're going to end up having 5 running backs. I think somebody will have to go whenever Nick Chubb gets activated again. I think it's really messy, but I'll lean Jerome Ford, but I'm very scared. If anybody who could pull this off would be Nick Chubb.
Yeah, we've seen Adrian Peterson do it. And if there's anybody who can come close to the type of physical prowess that AP had, it's Nick Chubb.
Yep. And he's already done it once, which I don't know if that's a benefit or a traction here, but a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. All right. Well, let's leave Cleveland. Let's go to Miami before it sinks into the ocean. These players are a little more spread out in ADP, but we have Devon Chain at 24, Mostert at 94, and rookie Jalen Wright at 160. But I've heard people be excited when they draft all three of them. So who are you taking and why, Jamison? And don't say all three.
I'm not. I'm done doing that. I've made you mad enough tonight. I do it every week we're on the pod. I need to lay off. So I am going to go Devon Achane here, but I'm a little worried about the Miami offensive line in general. And I'm not sure that I think Mostert's a little bit older. I think he had a lot of touchdown stuff go his way. I think he's way too cheap, but at the same time, I'm just worried that they won't be as efficient on the ground because of how bad the offensive line can end up being. So if he schemes some stuff up for Achane, I think he'll be the guy. And I think his price will slip just a tiny bit before the season starts. So I will go with him, but I don't have just for more upside than anything.
All right. Joe.
I'm going to go with the old man of the group in Mostert. Achane, this is really an ADP thing here. Getting him Mostert 6 rounds later. I love Devon Achane, but I don't see a way he stays on the field for more than 12, 14 games. Mostert could also get hurt again, but at that end of the 7th round, 8th round?
Yep.
8th round. But I'm going to take a shot on the guy who was RB 2 or 3 last year. So the offensive line is a massive concern, though. Jamison's right there. And Tua.
All right, Foxy. Who are you going with?
Oh my gosh. I'm going with Mostert, but I think it really depends on how I'm building my team. Like, if I go running back early, I want to go like robust RB, I'll grab Achane because it's just like I already have a top tier guy. Then I can have Achane and he can like literally break your fantasy week. But if I'm going the opposite and need a 0 RB hero, I'm going Mostert. And I know you hate saying both, but I think it really depends on how you're building your team.
I think that's a really good answer.
Well,
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Much better than Jamison's. All right. Last running back question. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. We have Arizona with the old cagey vet versus the wily rookie. James Conner, my favorite, is being drafted at 81, and Trey Benson is going at 118. Fox, who are you taking and why?
Give me Conner. He's just been doing it this whole time. I just haven't seen Benson do it yet. And that's honestly the truth.
The best predictor of future fantasy success is
I
previous.
already have it. Yep.
Right. Previous fantasy success. All right. Jamison.
I'm going to lean James Conner here as well. So 2021, he was running back 8. 2022, he's running back 9. And then last year, he was RB 13. And half of that was out without Kyler Murray. And last year when Kyler returned, and this was without Marvin Harrison Jr., he basically went scorched earth the second half of the year. So he was 6th in yards per carry. Yards after contact, he was number 2. Missed tackles forced, he was number 2. And number 4 in explosive rate. So I know he's older, but I really like the Cardinals offense overall. And he's just been very reliable, and at his price, I think he's honestly a really good pick.
All right. We have 2 Connors. Joe Harlow.
I think I have to lean James Conner here as well. It's going to be one where I think Benson as a later flyer is going to be a solid pickup. But wife and kiddo are running around like maniacs with the cats. Sorry. But it's going to be a very good run game.
Yeah.
Drew Petzing has really good at building a run game up. Their offensive line has improved. But with Kyler being healthy and some improved weapons like a Marvin Harrison Jr., I really think Connor's going to have a chance to not need to work as hard to get the production he's gotten. Yep. And yeah, he was RB 18 overall last year while missing 4 games. So and missing Kyler for a bunch of the games he was there.
Despite my personal feelings, I think that is the correct answer. So Connor gets
now come playoff
lead.
time. If Connor's hurt again,
Jalen
Benson's someone who should be rostered just in case still.
I like that. Just in case, like break glass in case of emergency.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there is nothing better than a live draft. Literally nothing is better. Get ahead of the game right now with Trophy Smack's gorgeous draft boards, complete with player stickers so deep you couldn't possibly need them all. And for the first time, Trophy Smack is offering an IDP expansion pack for all of us defensive degenerates. So no more scribbling names on blank stickers. Go to Trophy Smack and get the only draft board that meets all of your needs. Check out the link in the show notes and get yours today. Oh, no. Somebody kidnapped Joe.
Joe.
It's okay. He'll be back. Well, let's finish off and talk about some wide receiver situations. Let's start first with Kansas City. We have new additions of Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy joining Mr. Speed Racer himself, Rashee Rice. Brown is going at 51, Rashee at 58, and Xavier Worthy at 69. Who are you taking and why? Joe.
I hate this a lot.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm gonna go with Hollywood here. I think Rashee Rice. When's he gonna start playing? Xavier Worthy, I don't buy at all, as we know. So I'm gonna go with the guy who I still have issues with Hollywood Brown, but he's proven that he can be a solid complementary receiver, if nothing else. So
can we just talk for a minute? When did he switch back to Hollywood?
I think last year.
Was it last year? Okay. Okay. A little thrown off by that. All right. Fox, who are you going with?
I'm going with Rice. I don't think he's going to get suspended this year, honestly. I think it's going to be next. So I'm buying the dip. He's already produced in this offense. He knows the offense. He's already got the connection with Mahomes. So Marquise Brown, what has he really done?
And he's going to do something probably a little bit different than Rice. So I can completely see that. Jamison, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Rashee Rice as well. I think the lack of suspension news is actually good for him. Don't condone any of his actions on speeding and stuff. But as far as fantasy goes, I think he's going to be available. And if he wasn't, I think it might be the first 4 games. But Hollywood Brown the last couple of years just hasn't really done it. And then Xavier Worthy, I think, will be good. I'm a little worried about him being reliable as a fantasy asset. I think there might be some games where, he scores 2 touchdowns and then some games where he doesn't score any and doesn't do a whole lot. I just think that Andy Reid might scheme him and Hollywood up, just more speedsters, and then Rashee Rice will end up being the more reliable one behind Travis Kelce, get some of the intermediate stuff, and just kind of go there. I think the answer is Patrick Mahomes to this equation.
Yep.
I like that.
He is such a value right now in drafts. Like, he's been dropping. It's crazy. And I'm like, his situation has improved. What are we doing?
I agree. Pat Mahomes is falling too far in drafts.
Yeah. As much as I don't like Xavier Worthy, he's an upgrade over MVS for sure.
Yes, that's 100% true. All right, Heidi Hay, baby, don't you want to go to sweet home Chicago? Last year, DJ ran wild, but with a new QB and new competition, we have some choices to make. So we have DJ Moore at 31. Keenan Allen at 53 and Rome Odunze at 73. Jamison, who are you taking and why?
I just can't quit Keenan Allen. He's done it since 2013. We have tried to ride him off every single year, and he shows up, and he does it every single year. So the one thing Caleb Williams did really well last year was kind of improvise. And I think if he does some off-script stuff, I think Keenan Allen will be there, short, intermediate, just kind of separate. Shane Waldron last year in Seattle. I think Rome Odunze will be kind of the last one out as far as that goes. And then I like DJ Moore a lot, but I'm just going to take the value here and go with Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, it is. Joe.
This is probably the toughest one of the whole exercise for me, to be honest. I think I'm gonna go with DJ Moore here. I think Caleb has a lot of those improvisational skills, obviously, and I really think he's gonna just be able. He likes to go deep when he does start freelancing. The offensive line is solid, but still not great. And I think that's going to give him some chances to make some magic. And Moore is the most dynamic of these receivers. Also factoring in Odunze, if it wasn't Shane Waldron, who last year with JSN refused to give him a shot really and has done that in the past, DK Metcalf is a rookie. They don't want to give the rookie guy a chance until later on. So I don't think it's going to be Odunze until playoff time, if even then. So I think it's really a 2-horse race. And I'll go with the higher upside option here.
Yeah, it's tough when somebody doesn't run 11 personnel to have that third wide receiver, click. Brittney.
I'm going with Jamison with Keenan. DJ just costs too much. And I feel like his production came because he was the only target in that offense for Fields. Now he's got Keenan and Rome. And I just don't think that Rome's going to get enough opportunity for, especially with a rookie quarterback being the third. So Keenan it is.
Part of my argument there is Keenan's still not cheap. It's still in the 5th round.
Yeah, but he's way cheaper than DJ Moore. You're spending a lot more draft capital on a guy that could be just as good as Keenan, maybe? Similar to Keenan?
I think a lot of it. If it's
you think he's going to have a higher ceiling than Keenan?
Yeah.
I think he has a higher ceiling, but Keenan has a higher floor.
Yeah.
I also think Rome Odunze as a wide receiver 3 at the moment is just way too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my problem with him compared to some of these other guys just in that realm. But I think DJ Moore and Keenan, I think it's more personal preference. If you like safe, you play Keenan. If you want to get a little aggressive with it, you just pay up a little bit for DJ Moore.
I have to admit, I messed up at the live draft for Scott Fishbowl, and I got bullied out of a pick of Keenan Allen. I won't say bullied, but I was drafting with Leo Pasiga, who said that he didn't like Keenan Allen, and I was about to pick Keenan Allen, and I kind of felt shame because I'm not as confident as I need to be, and I passed on him, and I regretted it. I don't even know, and I don't even like thinking about it, Brittney. If I'm being honest, it was a down moment. I very quickly texted Jamison and Joe and Sean and was like, I effed up. Right? I did, Joe, didn't I?
You did.
I
Yes.
did. I said I
That's hilarious.
It's okay.
Was that when you took
happens.
Hollywood?
Oh, that might have been where I took
I think it
Hollywood.
was.
But it's okay. I'm happy because now he's a kick returner.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, kick returners.
Look at that. All right. Longtime coach Pete Carroll has moved on, and we're trying to determine who will be the second target for the offense this year up in Seattle. We have Jackson Smith-Njigba going at 78, Tyler Lockett at 108. Who are you taking and why? Fox.
Give me JSN. We've already seen Lockett start to decline last season, so I don't know. I really don't want either one.
Really? See, we've had a both. We've had all three, Jamison, and now we have a neither.
Just give me DK.
You want DK? That's why I didn't put him in here.
And then I won't invest in either one of these.
Interesting. Jamison.
I'm going to go JSN here. And even though he came off a wrist injury that started the season, and I'm still a little bit worried. I did some research on the Seattle's offensive line. I was very excited for Geno and stuff, and then I saw some stuff where the offensive line could still be really bad this year, and that was part of the reason why they didn't get to do some of the stuff they did last year. But I think JSN over Tyler Lockett, is pretty easy. He still had 93 targets last year as a rookie, and I think he'll end up as the wide receiver too. But I think I've taken some flyers on JSN.
I've taken a few myself. Joe?
It's JSN to me as well. fits really well with this offense. But Ryan Grubb ran, and his route tree matches up very well with the aggression that Geno likes to play with. No, I'm going to always fall in love with Geno's number 2 receiver, which I think JSN is going to be. So,
well, listen, it was a valuable position when it was Lockett. So, yeah, I like JSN this year. I think I was talking about this on a podcast the other night. We tend to, because of the rookie fever, we expect so much out of rookies. And when a rookie like JSN comes in and has a solid rookie year, we kind of forget that like rookies aren't supposed to be amazing right off the starting line. So I think
Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are major outliers.
Right. They kind of break it for everybody else. And I think
JSN was just way too expensive last year. I mean, he got for a wide receiver 3, he was probably going way before that he should. Yeah. I mean, he was very heavy, and then I'm going to buy the dip. So,
and I think if we're talking strictly redraft, I don't like rookies in redraft. There's a couple I'll take high, but I'd much rather take a veteran who I know what they've done. Like I said before to Brittney, right? I want to know somebody who's already done it in the NFL before I'm going to guess if somebody can do it in the NFL. And I know from my own personal mistakes that I elevate like those late round rookies way too high. So I'm taking JSN. All right. Let's go up to Buffalo, where we are having a hard time slotting receivers into roles. We have Keon Coleman going at pick 79, Curtis Samuel at 90, and Khalil, don't call me Salt Shaker, at 105. Who are you taking and why? Joe.
This is a tough one as well. I'm going to go with Shakir here. A lot of it is price, as the cheapest of them by a decent margin. He looked really good with Josh Allen last year. I think had almost a 90% catch rate, I believe, or high 70s at lowest, and still has a lot of dynamic after the catchability. Mostly a slot player. For what it seems like, he will be their slot receiver, with Keon being the X and Samuel being more the flanker Z position. So if Shakir is out there and can be a vertical slot, I think that meshes with Josh Allen really well and can get some big plays out of there. He has sure hands. I don't think any of them are gonna. I think a big thing with Keon Coleman is I don't see a way that he produces he's going in wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 range where you're taking him. And I don't think he's going to live up to that. So
I agree with you. Fox.
I'm going to play Curtis Samuel.
Okay. I
really don't have a good reason, honestly.
Sometimes you don't need a good reason.
It's just a gut feeling.
Love it.
I like Curtis Samuel. He's definitely the veteran of that crew.
He's so fun.
And I think he's the most reliable of the 3. Jamison, who are you going with?
I had originally wrote down Khalil Shakir, but I think he is I don't think he has a ceiling, so I would lean maybe into Curtis Samuel. I've never been a Curtis Samuel guy, but I just think for upside, I think that would give him the shot. I think this year for Josh Allen might be Patrick Mahomes' last year, where he can still get it done, but he doesn't bring anybody else with him outside of maybe Dalton Kincaid as far as a fantasy aspect goes. But I have not had a lot of drafting any of these wide receivers. I just don't have a good feel on them.
I think that's the answer, right? Hey.
James Cook season.
There you go.
Ray Davis season.
Unwind.
I do think Dalton Kincaid's the answer here. He's one I'm trying to get
there
everywhere.
Is he going to have over 100 receptions this year, Joe?
I think he might.
And if he doesn't,
last year,
if Dalton Kincaid does not have 100 receptions this year, where does Josh Allen finish as a QB? Outside the top?
Depends on how many Dawson Knox has, I guess.
I think Knox is still going to be around a little bit. I don't think he has been kicked to the curb.
Well, he's going to be the inline tight end.
And he and Josh are like best friends, so
yeah, they're BFFs.
Hooks, by the way.
All right. Well, we aren't golfing, but we have a foursome up next. Green Bay seems to have found their franchise QB immediately after losing their old franchise QB. That's a nice thing that they keep doing. But who's going to be the top target for Love's affection? We have Jaden Reed at 57, Christian Watson at 66. We have Romeo Doubs at 109, and Dontavian Wicks at 117. Pretend you are at the drive-in and pick two. Jamison, you can pick two of the four. I'm giving you permission to pick two out of the four receivers, buddy.
Can I get that in writing before I get in trouble?
No.
I will
It's
go.
on the show now.
I will go Christian Watson for his upside, and I will go the late round Dontavian Wicks. I've been very anti Jaden Reed at his price. I think Christian Watson is a little expensive, but I just think he has the most upside. Hopefully, he has two equal hamstrings instead of going the leaning one way and going the other. And then
Right, because you can't lean both ways.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. So, and then Dontavian Wicks, I liked a lot. I thought he showed up in some games towards the end of the season. And another guy not talked about, Bo Melton, is a great flyer too, real late. But I'm very worried that it gets so spread out that none of it really matters. We've got Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft too, so should be a fun offense. But I'm going to go Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks.
All right, Joe, which two are you going with?
This one's pretty easy to me. I'm taking Wicks first. I think he's going to be the number one receiver there, or at least the 1B, whatever you want to call it. Looking at reception perception and other just tracking data, his metrics are absurd. He had really good chemistry with Jordan Love. I think just talent-wise, he's way up there. Then second for me is Jaden Reed, who he's too expensive right now. If you're in a league with some return points, that's a big boost to him. He was the clear best receiver for them last year. I don't think Christian Watson's good. You could put a 1 in front of his ADP, and I still want nothing to do with it. I don't trust him at all. And Romeo Doubs is solid, but he's going to be the sacrificial X this year. He's going to be running clear out routes, have a random 8-catch game. Then mostly just going to be clearing out and doing a lot of dirty work, which is super vital. He's going to be a really good NFL receiver. I don't think it's going to do much for fantasy. Honestly, I'm taking Bo Melton third of this group, to be totally honest. I think he's a better player than Christian Watson. I think there's more chance for upside than Romeo Doubs. So
I love you, Joe. You always have such strong opinions. Love it. Love it. All right, Fox. First of all, do you want to show everybody the Unwind shirt?
Oh, sure.
That Rachel.
Unwind.
Very nice. And who designed that?
I designed it. Well, Rachel created Unwind, so we love Rachel.
Rachel's an amazing person, and we all love Rachel. Yes. So who are you which two receivers are you going with?
I'm going with Watson. Sorry, Joe.
He's not listening.
It's okay.
He heard
just because of the upside, he's just amazing to watch. I'm also going to go Wicks. So I'm same with Jamison, I guess.
How about that?
I have a selfish question to ask right now.
Yeah.
What would you guys be willing to pay for Dontavian Wicks in a Dynasty League right now?
Dontavian Wicks in a Dynasty League.
Superflex or?
Superflex.
I always feel like a third
second?
is my generic answer, but I would give a third easy.
A late second, maybe?
I'd
What
give a second for him.
Okay. A 25 second or a later on second?
Doesn't matter.
25. Okay. I like Dontavian Wicks a lot, but it's not his talent's the problem. There's only 400 mouths to feed in Green Bay is the problem.
If Christian Watson gets hurt, wheels up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Honestly, if any of them do.
Yeah.
Another thing with Wicks is I think he can play big slot X or Z really well at all of them. So
yeah, that's why Wicks is my number 2. So
maybe one of them should be traded to the Bills.
They should.
They could use him.
The non-Jaden Reed one, preferably.
The non-Jaden Reed.
Hey, the Steelers need a receiver.
Yeah.
We just got Pickens. That's it.
Hey, Van Jefferson's awesome.
Oh,
come on.
He had a 40-yard touchdown today.
Van Jefferson's that elite route runner that I will never give up on.
I mean, it's always easy to score a 40-yard touchdown when you're going against Pittsburgh corners. All right, one of my favorite sleeper QBs this year is Justin Herbert, because I still believe. But who's going to emerge as his top target? We have Ladd McConkey going at pick 70, Joshua Palmer at 97, and Quentin Johnston at 158. Foxworth, who are you taking and why?
This one is real tough. Oh my goodness. I'm going. Give me Palmer. We've seen him with Herbert do it already. QJ's hasn't done it yet, and who knows what Ladd's going to do.
All right, so we got Josh Palmer. We got shoot in the middle.
Yeah,
Jamison.
and he's not as expensive as Ladd.
Yeah, Ladd's going early.
Yeah.
Jamison, what do you think?
I'm going to go Josh Palmer here as well. I think he's got some upside. If they do the play action and, kind of hit him for the deep ball. I think Ladd McConkey's ADP right now is criminal. And then Quentin Johnson, I don't want to quit just yet because he's so cheap. I'm very willing to take a flyer and, it won't cost me nothing if I'm wrong. But I'll lean Josh Palmer. I think he's got some sneaky upside. He's played with Herbert before, and now that he's kind of stepped up in a role with everybody else gone, I think there's a chance for him to kind of be a nice value here.
All right, Joe.
I have to agree with Palmer there. McConkey's going too high right now. Then, do you happen to know where DJ Shark is? Because I think
he's on every single one of my underdog teams. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, DJ Shark.
There was a report
considerably below them. Sorry, go ahead, Jameson.
There was a report that Chark was going to play in front of QJ. It's early. I didn't.
211.
211. Yeah,
it's wide receiver Shark. 89.
Yeah, for sure.
I still think I'd probably go Palmer over Shark, but Shark is up there. It's very the Christian Watson role, honestly, but less target competition.
Yeah.
So
I've watched too much Baby Shark to do DJ Shark.
That's fair. And when he's been healthy, he's still been solid. So
I've always been a DJ Shark fan, so I can definitely see if they're going to run a lot more play action, which they're going to do this year, and they're going to have a slightly deeper target than last year. I'm looking forward to see what Justin Herbert can do deep this year.
I just looked up my underdog exposure he's my number one exposure.
DJ Shark.
75% of my leagues on underdog have DJ Shark.
Well, listen, he's going to finish as a wide receiver too.
Let's go.
And you're going to win all the money.
I hope so.
Just remember us.
You can get him so late. Like, why not?
Especially with an elite quarterback. Oof.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Last one, ladies and gentlemen. Are you going to San Francisco? Well, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair because Purdy has 2 daisies for you to pick from. We have Brandon Ayuk at 23 or Deebo Samuel at 19. It's the first pairing that I did the later ADP first because I'm biased. But who are you taking and why, Joe?
Is it really a question? This is Brandon Ayuk, and it's not even close. Like, I am shocked Deebo's this high. Ayuk is a top 8 receiver in the league, top tier fantasy player. Again, looking at the reception perception profile, he's all greens. It is wheels up for Ayuk. I think he can push into that tier 1 of NFL receivers this year. But yeah, I think I'm willing to take him at the end of the first round, honestly.
I would assume he's already pushed himself into that territory. I heard Matt Harmon singing his praises on Drew Davenport's podcast the other day.
Yep.
Now, Foxworth.
Ayuk.
Oh, you're going with Ayuk too. See, based on your face, I thought you were going to come out with Deebo.
No, I want Ayuk. And I want him to come to Pittsburgh. I'm just kidding.
They're not moving in.
I know.
Pittsburgh does need 1. Sorry, had to.
And a 2, if we're being honest. I'm not a Pickens fan.
I love me some Pickens, man.
Oh, he's a head.
He'd be an elite. Hey, he'd be better than T. Higgins as a 2.
Oh, you hate T. Higgins too, though.
I do.
Yeah.
I think we should publish like our odd hate list, like the random guys who we just hate. Me, Calvin Ridley, James Conner, random hate, just don't like it.
Gonna make a note. This might have to be a soon episode.
Okay, you know what? Maybe this will be next week.
Maybe.
All right, Jamison, did I already ask you who you're taking? No, I didn't ask you.
No, you left me all alone here, but I will follow along with the crew here and go with Brandon Ayuk. A lot of the Debo stuff's manufactured. I know he does a lot of good stuff against zone defenses, but I like Brandon Ayuk. I think he's got a little bit more to tap into, honestly. I think he's really come into his own as a wide receiver, especially last year. And with all the contract news, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to stay in San Francisco. People will get scared if his price drops anymore. I'm going to keep buying. I've got 4 million shares of Brandon Ayuk right now, so I'm holding the bag and feeling pretty good about it.
All right, everybody goes for Ayuk.
He had 1,300 yards on 100 targets last year. It's going to go up.
Yep.
Also, how is Debo going as a top 20 player right now with the injuries and such?
I think it's because of the receiver bump on Netflix. They're covering Debo, and people are just seeing all the good.
I agree with that. I recently was having a conversation where I said how my opinion of Debo has changed after watching the first episode. I am so easily swayed.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
Is he, though?
I think so.
I hope he is. I don't know.
And
All
with that,
right.
I love Debo as a player.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Ayuk
Ayuk
against
over.
Ayuk. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Ayuk. All right. It's time for tags where we share any final thoughts you might have. Let everybody know where they can find us. The woman of 1,000 names, because I've called you them all tonight. Brittney, Britt, Foxworth, Fox, Foxy, you're up first. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at bfoxworth07. And my articles are coming out on fantasy footballers. And yeah.
Yeah, just fantasy footballers. That's it.
Yeah, just it.
Casual drop.
I know. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just want a prize, the Nobel, just little stuff.
Just
Yeah,
little things here and there,
That's awesome for you.
That is amazing. Jamison, you're up next, sir.
I'm on the Twitter machine at Jamison Rules. Every Thursday night, Friday, whichever time you catch the Rod Pod, every single week. I'll be gone next week. I'm going to Oregon. If anybody wants to tag along, let me know. But other than that, just on the Twitter machine doing my thing, wrestling. We got football coming up, trying not to get swayed by the training camp videos. But I saw Xavier Leggett give the news update this morning, and I'm all in.
Yeah.
Or the weather update.
Yeah.
I'm all in. It's awesome.
So cute.
But
And you were already all in on Leggett. Now
I
you're
was
doubly all in.
I'm just that's it. I can't say nothing else about it.
You're drunk in love. Joe.
You can find me at Jolo63 on the social medias. Writing some articles for ADP Plus right now that might be spicy to some, if you're a TJ Watt fan, maybe. But no, you can find me there. And here, I'm also tweeting about the Orioles a lot because we're getting into the thick of the baseball season. So go Birds. And thank you all.
I'm at JJ Wenner on Twitter. Thank you to Foxworth for joining us on the pod tonight. She is a vital part of our team, and we are so blessed to have her. So thank you to Fox and the whole crew at IDP Plus for all the work they do behind the scenes. Thank you to Joe and Jamison for their work on this episode. And a big congrats to Jamison for completing his bachelor's degree. He's been working his butt off. It's a huge achievement. I'm so proud of you. If you can, take a victory lap. Be sure to tune in next Thursday to the All Out Blitz, where Doug and I welcome Howard Bender to the show. Then come back on Friday for the Rod Pod, when Joe and I are going to be diving into some IDP. So from all of us to all of you, be safe, be well, and as always, boat drinks, my friends. Boat drinks.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.